Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to everyone who's joining us via Oz Arab Media's live stream, and to those who are tuning in via Oz Arab Radio. I'm Joseph Najjar, and we are joined today by Domi Antalfy, a real estate agent who's founded her own business, Domination Buyers Agents. She's joined us today to discuss the differences between buyers agents and real estate agents, and to discuss the property market more in depth. Mrs. Antalfy, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you, Joseph, for having me. It's really good to be on today.
I'm glad to hear that. So can you first start off by telling us the difference between real estate agents and buyers agents?
So the difference is there. Both real estate agents are selling agents and buyers agents are real estate representatives. They're both licensed agents, but the difference is the buyers agent solely looks after the purpose of representation of the buyer in every single way, whether that be guiding them through the process and understanding how the buying process works, whether that would be negotiating on their behalf, attending the auction, negotiating and closing the actual deal for them, taking them all the way through settlement. So the main difference would be the real estate agent looks after the seller and their interest, and the buyer's agent looks after the buyer's interest.
I see. And what made you, because you used to be a real estate agent,
yes,
but you've now founded your own buyer's agent company. So what made transition from real estate?
Great question. So I was selling for 7 years prior, and it was actually through the last couple of years of my sales career that I discovered that the buyer side was more what I was drawn to, and it was purely through the experiences I had with some of my buyers that I met at open homes. In particular, first home buyers who I felt needed a little bit of extra hand-holding, explanation of the process. How do the things work? What they should and shouldn't be looking at. What's the right way to go about it? How do they submit an offer? What kind of time frame should they be looking at when they are expecting to hear back from an agent regarding their offer? How does the offer process work? How does the deposit and the finance side of things work as well? So it was really through those experiences with the buyers coming through the open homes that I felt this is really what I want to do more of. I had very genuine interest in helping them find the best home rather than the first home, and it often resulted in situations where they may have come through one of my properties, but it wasn't what I felt was the right thing for them to purchase. So I would then go on the side and actually help them with their research and set them on the right path of how to secure and purchase the right property for them. And I started doing more and more of that, and from that came the idea of doing a lot more of it and doing it on my own. So early this year, I made the decision to start my own business and founded Domination Buyers Agents, which is my business.
And so why would someone engage a buyer's agent to help them and secure a property when they can virtually do it on their own?
So there's a lot of different reasons. Every buyer has a different level of understanding of how the process works. And from my point of view, being the buyer's agent, I can do as much or as little as someone needs me to for them when it comes to the actual purchase process. So it could be as little as attending an auction on someone else's behalf when they can't make it, to make sure that we can secure that property for them. It could be a client coming to me with a specific property already in mind to say, Domi, I found this. I don't know how to negotiate. I don't want to overpay. Is this the right property for me? Can you help me? So that's what we call a appraise and negotiate service. And then we have a complete property search where it starts from me sitting down with the client, working through their wish list of their requirements, needs and wants, suburbs of interest, specific property types, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, views, pools, alfrescos, just the whole lot. That's the process where we get as much information as we can. I will then go off and have a look at all the properties that are available online, and also contact all the real estate agents in the area who are selling to see if they have any off-market or pre-market opportunities that we could look at with our clients. Then from there, I would create a short list of properties that might be suitable for my client, go and inspect them, and if I feel that they're a good fit, I get my client to inspect them. If they still like the property, then we would take it to the next step, engage in a negotiation. If that's successful, at their desired price, and the seller's client has also said that yes, they're happy to sell at that price, we would then pay the deposit, sign the contract, exchange, and then I would still help my clients on the way to settlement. But that's obviously not where my service ends. I have built the business of building clients for life rather than just doing one-off transactions, as some might call it. So for me, it's really important that my clients are looked after to more than 100%, and I do retain that client base for future as well. And many of them have become my friends. With many of them, I get invited to dinners and to housewarming parties. It's just a really nice thing to see that there's a true and real relationship created through the home buying experience.
Well, I gotta say, it sounds like your job is very high pressure because you need to make sure what you're doing is just right for the client. Do you have specific ways to handle that kind of pressure?
For me, I wouldn't say there isn't pressure anymore, but because I did so much, I've sold over 200 properties when I was on the selling side, and through that, whether that be listing presentations with the clients where we actually go and pitch for the business, try and win business, whether it's negotiations when you go in, do you get it, do you lose it, both with vendors and with buyers, you do discover your preferred ways of going about things. And because I've had so much practice and so much experience, and so much local knowledge too, which is probably one of the things that I'd say are most important in my business as well. That's why my clients come to me, because they know that with me, they get looked after 150%. There's no stone unturned. There's over communication, if anything. I sometimes get my clients saying, you don't have to call me tomorrow. It's all good. I'll see you on Saturday. So that's really the standard that I wanted to get my business to, and that's where I would say most of my business now is referral business, which is something that I'm very proud of.
Has the recent federal budget had any impact on your business? Has it perhaps changed the way buyers see the property market?
It's had, I wouldn't say a major impact just yet. There's a few things that are on the books that we are waiting to see how they plan out. Few things that I would probably mention is the government is trying to look into ways how they could make housing more affordable and accessible, both in regards to pricing and transportation as well, because we are seeing that a lot of the areas are being developed, 35, 40 plus Ks from CBD. So transport is definitely something that's really important when we talk about that. The first home buyer deposit scheme has been expanded, so that's definitely something exciting for the first home buyers to look forward to, and even purchase of properties with as little as 5%, and then some other schemes that are even a little bit less. These are obviously things that are best discussed with the brokers, with the financial experts. I don't really want to get into that too much. Government infrastructure, building of the schools, roads, connecting everything properly, and then we also have the family home guarantee scheme, which is aiming at helping single parents purchase properties, making more affordable, and this would be done via a way where the government actually guarantees part of that property, so they're not actually paying for the whole thing. So the government steps in there as well. So there's quite a few things that are being done. This all comes back to a few key things again, which are supply and demand, which is a major problem at the moment, because what we were hoping to see is increase in property availability throughout the region, and that hasn't happened yet. And due to the stock levels being very low, that's still driving prices or keeping prices very strong. New construction has been limited, and for the years to come, when we're talking 2, 3, 5 years ahead, it's not something that's looking to be improving due to the land itself getting quite expensive a few years ago. Developers pulling back on the purchase of those. Then into that coming the cost of living and the cost of building, which increased. So the construction has been pulled back, and the projections that we have that we can see are very minimal. And with the influx of skilled migrants that we are hearing that is about to hit, in particular Sydney and Melbourne over the next 2 years, I don't think it's something that's going to necessarily get better anytime soon. Not to put too much doom and gloom onto everything, but there are a few big things that are happening, and it's just a matter of time to see how those play out.
So will it become easier to purchase a property anytime soon?
My recommendation to anyone looking to buy, in particular their first home, just to get their foot in the market, is I come across a lot of buyers who obviously want to get into a bigger home and a better home that they don't need to upsize from very soon in the future. But what I am saying is property is not getting any cheaper. And really, when you look at the graph, it sort of, travels like this. We hit a speed hump with the pricing. We have COVID, we have interest rates going up, but in the end, the property is something that's a very solid investment. So, for anyone out there looking to buy and thinking it's going to get, cheaper in the next 2 years or so when the supply hits, yes, it might for a little bit, and then it will jump straight back up, because the difference between the market bottoming and the market rising again, there's not much in between. And when everyone starts feeling it's about to hit the bottom, that's when everyone starts jumping back into purchase, which ultimately drives the prices back up. So to answer a question of is there a right time to buy, you buy property when you can, and buyers will buy property for different reasons. If you're buying a development to say build a duplex, the figures have to work for you, because if at the end of it you don't make any money, it's obviously not a good investment. If you're an investor and looking at long-term investment, there's a lot of tax benefits that you can get with a property investment. So that's something that's worth talking to a financial planner and your accountant about. If you're buying a home, that's probably one where you can look at it, and depending on, is it kids schooling that's important to you? Is it proximity to transport that's important to you? The important part is getting in. Once you get in with something, you can always build on that. But if you keep waiting for the perfect time for the market to drop more, for the rates to drop less, to drop more, so they're less, you're always going to come across some sort of obstacle where you talk yourself out of it. And in the end, you'll be looking back at the 3 years ago when you could have bought your perfect home and you're still waiting. So there isn't a perfect time to buy. The perfect time to buy is when you can and when you can afford it. And, not overstretching the budget to the point where if the rates did go up anymore, that you will be feeling that financial pressure and will then need to come up with a plan B of either how you're going to pay for it or selling the property and then going back to that really hard rental market that we know that we're experiencing at the moment.
Would that be the message you would say to people with mortgages who are currently struggling with the interest rates, people who are looking to purchase property perhaps anytime within the next 6 months, buy when you can? Look,
not me, not anyone else can really predict the market to the T when we're talking about timing. Even with I have really good friends and professionals in the financial field. No one can give us a definite answer on whether, do the rates start coming down a little bit end of this year, beginning of next year, halfway through next year. And when you look at the projections of the different banks as well, everyone has their own opinion on it. I do feel that people feeling the most pressure at the moment are the ones who purchased in the last couple of years, because that's when the market went up so high, and then it got to the high, started coming down, and they're now feeling that hurt when it comes to finance, because their repayments, their mortgage percentage has gone anywhere from about 2% to maybe 6%. So they're the ones really feeling it, and we haven't experienced the full effect of people coming off the fixed rates just yet, which will start happening around the June-July period this year. And I think that's one of the main things that everyone in finance is real estate, looking to purchase or sell, is waiting to see how is that going to impact everything. Because the more property there is available, the cheaper it will become. And we haven't seen that happen yet. So that's something that's going to be really interesting to watch this year. But my message to the buyers will be, if you are looking to buy, if you're unsure of when or how or how much, someone like myself could give you that expert advice. I could connect you with the best A team to look after you, whether it be on financial side of things with the brokers, solicitors, and then I could obviously give you that property advice to put you on the right path and start planning, depending on what your goals are, whether you are downsizer, upsizer, family, investor, first home buyer. I even have quite a few developers on my book, so I could definitely help there.
What is the best way to reach out to you?
Probably my phone, 0488 776672. My email is domi@dominationbuyersagents.com, or you can reach me on social media, Instagram and Facebook.
All right. Well, Domi, on behalf of Oz Arab Media, thank you for taking the time to join us today and to have this discussion with us. As Domi mentioned at the end, if you ever want to reach out to her, those are her details. And once again, we'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to catch up. Thanks, Joseph.